Fusion Wrestling, Saturday afternoon, June the 4th. What has already been a historic live event. Tony Nas against Ruff Crossing. Two heavyweights, very even on the stat sheet. Both men 240 pounds. Tony Nas at his physical prime, his preparation has been amazing. But Ruff Crossing is the dedicated veteran of the squared circle who has no equal. This is potentially Tony Nas's most difficult test ever in Fusion Wrestling. And it's right here. Tony Nas, huge win on Acid Jazz, made the first in this building. Can he raise the stakes and beat Ruff Crossing? At one time ranked 453 of the best 500 professional wrestlers in the entire world. PWI Top 500 ranking 2013. Ruff Crossing has been in Fusion Wrestling before. He has not been in Fusion since June of 2014. He's very intense. His last match was a loss for the Fusion Wrestling Championship. He is very impressive on his feet. One of the most talented heavyweights of this generation. 6 feet 5, 6 feet 6 inches tall. Very tall, long limbs. Ruff Crossing, very adept to wrestling on the ground, on his feet. And one thing that he has right here is a bad attitude, and Tony Nas has got to watch those lightning quick jabs.
Here comes the big one, boy.
Young up and Connor, is Tony Nas. Big back body drop. Tony Nas has dropped Crossing already. Clothesline over the top, it's to the outside. Crossing already down and on the mat, on the floor. Wow, this prototype is impressive. His preparation is better than nearly all that step into this ring. His power, his youth, his enthusiasm. He has a killer instinct that I think a lot of the other young athletes do not have. And if he can spear Ruff Crossing down, if he can overpower the man, if he can flip him, if he can slam him, if he can suplex him, Ruff Crossing will have a hard time recovering. Ruff Crossing clearly knows that he's in the ring against a very strong, young, and determined athlete. But Ruff Crossing has faced opponents like this before. And he is very crafty. And if he has to slow things down, he will, just for his own amusement, to better his chances of winning. That's the name of the game in the long run here at Fusion Wrestling. To win, Tony Nas from the Hot Girls Heroes, frequent tag team partner with Roy Flash Gordon. Roy Flash Gordon not activated for this afternoon's event, but Tony Nas is. And will Tony Nas now, in his, to my knowledge, his first ever main event matchup, will he prove that he is main event caliber against the likes of Ruff Crossing here today? That's the question, that's the test, that's the situation on hand. He should not have that bell. Sam, get that bell out of his hands. He can use that bell at his disposal whenever he wants. Fortunately, he chooses not to. This is about open hand combat. This is about pro wrestling and Ruff Crossing trying to humiliate the man by pulling and fish hooking the man on both sides of his cheeks. Yeah, Mr. Turnbuckle has nothing but bad things to say to Tony Nas right now. Ruff Crossing chopping the chest of Tony Nas as he goes down to a knee. Crossing has been a champion literally everywhere that he has gone. A victory here would put him in top contention for Fusion Wrestling Championship potentially down the road. You never know. Nas blocks the suplex attempt twice. He will not be outpowered. Delayed vertical suplex on this heavyweight. This is incredible. What impact on the drop. Holy mackerel. I haven't seen any drop that devastating all afternoon. Crossing has been devastated and is still willing to continue against Nas. Nas to the ropes, gets in the air, gets some hang time, hits the elbow drop, and crossing. See that look on his face, he's in pain, can't breathe, he's frustrated, he's losing patience, and now he's begging for forgiveness. Too late, Crossing. If you wanted to take advantage of this young man earlier, you didn't have to do it the way that you did. Tony Nas asking the crowd, should he believe in Crossing? And a lot of the fans are explaining to Nas it is not in your best interest. He got suckered in. Crossing thought that he delivered the face plant to Nas in the corner, but Nas stopped his progression with his thick lower body strength. Crossing, ducks, cross body block. Look at the power of Nas. He caught a 240-pound missile in the air. Crossing fights out of it with his elbow. And then the forearm smash as well. Wow, Crossing can change the complexion of the match instantly. Cross body again. Nas elevates the man over his shoulders. Look at the power. Crossing, screaming for his life. He lands on his feet. Oh, Nas takes the fall between the middle and top rope to the outside. Oh, man. What a devastating fall that was. And Sam might be counting the man out at this point. Crossing now. He's about ready to make Tony Nas regret the day that he ever tried to step in the ring against him. Oh, for goodness sakes. What an unforgiving right-handed shot. A nasty right-handed cross to the head and neck and chin of Tony Nas. Oh, for goodness sakes. That punch should be declared illegal. No man should be punched in the neck like that. That is ridiculous. Crossing, picks up Nas. He just slammed him on the floor. This floor is as hard as any tile floor anywhere in the world. And this very thin layer of padding does not help Nas's cause at all, one bit. He is landing on a very hard surface. Taking a fall like that at the hands of Ruff Crossing could end your career. He crowned him with that elbow smash. Tony Nas has a headache, and it's as big as Crossing. You know, there are a lot of rough crossings when you're driving on the road, but nothing like this man. And one time, one of the most admired, now one of the most hated, and he's taking it out on Nas. It is youth versus experience, and Nas not even putting his arms up to defend himself. He's just absorbing this abuse. Crossing, sending Nas back first into the far corner. Look at that power display by Crossing. Crossing, continuing to jaw jig with the fans as he continues to throw Nas wherever he wants. In the ring, out of the ring, in between the ropes or otherwise. He missed the splash. He went head first to that top turnbuckle padded support. Crossing can't see straight out of one eye. Nas with the clothesline. He nearly snapped his head right off of the shoulders. Another one. Nas sensing he's got Crossing in trouble, but that knee landed it smart. Crossing brings that right knee up in the nick of time. Snapping neck breaker on the run. Very few can hit that move with the speed, agility, and accuracy, and with the size that Crossing can, as he was running at full speed from one corner of the ring to the next, traveling in upwards of 15, 20 miles an hour in the process. Nas has been hurt, and we are seeing the pain threshold of Tony Nas. Can he go the distance against a seasoned professional wrestling athlete with the top rankings, as Ruff Crossing does? Nas had his head, neck, and jaw devastated earlier. That crazy right-handed shot outside of the ring nearly knocked the man's lights out. And this isn't like a traditional mixed martial arts fight or a boxing fight. I mean, when you take a fall repeatedly over and over again, the referee is not calling the match. We are really seeing the limits of Tony Nas being stretched here. Leaping knee smash. He missed badly. Crossing hurt himself. Nas is rejuvenated. He's pumped. Can he finish Crossing? That's the question. Crossing can't find Nas. Wide shoulder block. Back elbow. Crossing keeps getting up. What impact? A back elbow. Then Nas dropped all of his body weight on Crossing's legs, too. It was a double header on that drop. Crossing trying to roll towards the corner. Nas following Crossing into the near corner. He got reversed. Crossing created space. What a float over by Nas. Really agility of this big man. Up and under. Wow, he caught him badly with that elbow. And again, how much can Nas's jaw and head take? He got caught. Can he power slam the big man? He's holding out of the top rope with both of his hands. Wow, he rotated. Nas trying to cover the man. Oh my. The closest near fall of the match thus far. Nas hit that power slam, couldn't hook a leg. Crossing shows the resilience that he possesses. One of the biggest high-impact drops of the match, and there have been a number of them. This has been an extremely physical heavyweight main event, and it's not over. Nas trying to shake off the effects of the damage done earlier to his head. Crossing in the other corner. Nas sends Crossing from one side to the other. Follows in with a clothesline the first time. And again, Crossing is crumbling. I can sense that his chances of winning are dissipating. Much like the thunderstorms outside. Can Nas finish what he started? He tried for the spear, but Nas accidentally went head first into that middle turnbuckle pad. And he might have had some trauma and some damage done to that right eye and eye socket. And Crossing, signaling for the end right here. He could be going for that pile driver. Watch out! Oh, for goodness sakes! That was devastating! That's it! Crossing has won this!
I'm going to WrestleMania!
This afternoon, Tony Nas gave it his all, but Ruff Crossing's pile driver was deadly. Nobody can stop Crossing when he's got you elevated over his head like that, and he plummets you down at first on the mat. He didn't even need the cowbell. He had his hand raised at the end of the day. Nevertheless, what action! Fusion Wrestling returns August 13th. What will be next on the table for these two men inside of the Fusion Wrestling ring? Great ovation for this young man, a moment he will not soon forget. The heck is Crossing doing in there? Crossing's back! Watch out! Oh my! Nonsense Crossing overhead! Oh yeah! TKO neck breaker!